Oh, I'm too cool. Okay, that works. So, I wasn't planning on filming today, hence my attire. But I know I'm gonna do some sandcasting because I turned up today without really much of an idea about what I want to do. So I've got this ring here. This is called the Aperta ring or Aperta ring, I can't remember. If you've been following me on Instagram, you probably would have seen this as I wear it all the time. And it sits like this, sort of open. I really like jewellery that works with the body and allows the body to be incorporated into some part or facet of the piece. And I'd really like to make an orange one or some different colours of them. So we're going to try casting this. We're going to go over to the table and try and recreate this in wax. Almost put my phone in the vise. Okay. So this is where I keep all of my wax.
Join me as we sail across the oceans to discover the lost wax of AOK.
You can guess exactly what happens with all the floor pieces if I leave them on the floor. I do indeed stand on them. I've had a really nice month not being on Instagram and everything. But this week now having to like return to Insta and to like I need money because I have not posted on Instagram for the last month, therefore nobody's seen anything I've made or like what I've been up to. And to be honest, the thing I hate the most about having a jewelry business is selling the jewelry. I really like all the other ways that I've managed to find an income stream. Bespoke, I just love bespoke. Please get in touch if you want a bespoke ring. I can't wait to hear from you. The most important meal of the day.
Coffee is not a meal, and if I have to remind you that, please go back to 2010 and delete your Tumblr account.
To recreate this, but when I say recreate, I want to make something that is a bit more sleek. All of these dots and marks.
This was something that I did super early on in the
Jewelry making process, and a lot of my earlier pieces are really characterized by I used to study photography, right? And what was often talked about was this moment called the decisive moment. And the decisive moment is the moment that you click the shutter on the camera. And whatever's going on in that moment is up to the chance of the person who's taking the photo and how the camera is, how the light is, what's happening outside, and all of these things that kind of come together into play. And I like to treat the wax carving a little bit like that, like, you know, to not be too precious, because I can be more precious later, particularly because I'm sandcasting. Anyway, in 10 minutes, I have gathered together a ring shank and 2 street bits. And now we're gonna try and cast them. You just never know how it's gonna go. I don't like the look of that, to be fair. I've now cast my 3 pieces. First tool you need to clean up your castings is your dual saw with your blade, and we're just going to take off these sprues. Now, you might be able to see this sprue, I'm not super duper happy with it because it's kind of infiltrated the design a bit too much, meaning we're going to end up with a thinner ring. But also, this is interesting, look how smooth and shiny that surface is. The Delft clay sand makes a really like flat, sort of perfect surface really, unless you put texture into your wax. So to get like the sand casting look that you've probably seen me make and other people, you need to put some texture in. So here we go. Here we have our cast pieces. You can see there's some quite nice texture on that. That one's a bit flatter. I always like the edges from the sand casting. You see these lines that have all appeared? These lines are all from the filing, and the Delft clay is good enough that it will show up. So regarding these little lines, your options are to texture the wax in such a way that the lines don't show up anymore, or smooth the wax out so good using your sanding and potentially running the flame over the wax as well, like I did in the setup. But because I have been super rough and ready with this, that's what those lines are. So I have sort of rounded off, got the nasty ugly bits out the way, and we're gonna stick them all together. This will not do. Okay, so I have lined that up as absolute best I can. We should maybe get a bit more light over here so you can see what's going on. This is where I keep my flux, and we're just gonna paste the flux all around these. Professional jewelers state that we should only really be using this solder here, which is hard. So, to solder, you want to first melt away or evaporate all that flux, else the solder will go ping. You see as it starts to turn white. Cool. Now, we will heat up the whole piece. Okay. Into the pickle. So once your piece is filed how you want it to be, and all of the sort of texture left on. What I would recommend is that you file down, sand and polish the inside of the band, because the inside of the band, you want it to be smooth, you want it to be comfortable for somebody to wear. But in terms of retaining this outside detailing, you want to use one. You can get these in stainless steel or brass. This is brass and it's quite spiky. You will find these little brass bristles in your clothes and occasionally be spiked with them. Also, I'd recommend wearing a pair of glasses, safety goggles, whilst you work with this, because sometimes the bristles can hit your face and the thought of one landing in one's eye just... You can get ones that fit the pendant drill, but these, I ordered the wrong size. This size instead fits my Dremel, so we're just gonna exchange that in. Ow. And this is honestly the easiest and most quick solution to polishing and keeping all that detail. Once you have polished up with the little steel brass brush, I'd recommend taking... I just saw a rat run across the pavement just then. Definitely take it to the sink and use a bit of washing up liquid and a soft bristled toothbrush and just get away any of like the sort of gunk or marks or dirt or whatever that is left. And I'll just turn the camera around and show you what we've achieved. So you can see the silver is quite nice and shiny. It's like a wearable shine, and all of those beautiful details from the sandcasting are still present. They haven't been lost. So there you go. Thanks for watching. I hope you found that instructive. As always, all the tools I used will be linked below, and if you have any questions, send me a message. Don't forget to sign up for the watering hole, dropping every single Wednesday in the afternoon to your inbox, a little bit of creative juice to help you through the week on planet Earth.